Welcome back to the channel. iOS 27 is finally here, but the big question is, should you actually install it? Is it stable enough for daily use? Will it slow down your iPhone, cause overheating, or introduce a bunch of new bugs? I've been testing iOS 27 beta for the past few days and comparing it side by side with iOS 26. So here's what I found. Let's start with the thing most people care about, performance. In terms of app launch speeds, multitasking, and general day-to-day navigation, iOS 27 beta has actually been surprisingly solid. I haven't experienced any major lag, stuttering, or noticeable frame drops so far. Honestly, for a first beta, it's more stable than I expected. But what's interesting is that the biggest changes in iOS 27 aren't really about speed. They're about the little details. Take the new recovery mode interface, for example. Previously, entering recovery mode was basically a button combination that most people had to memorize. Press volume up, press volume down, then hold the side button. Now, iOS 27 actually guides you through the process. A prompt appears on screen telling you to keep holding the side button to enter recovery mode. Once the loading screen appears, you can let go. And when you get into recovery mode, you'll notice it's no longer the old basic screen we've had for years. Instead, Apple has redesigned it into a more interactive and user-friendly interface. For everyday users, that's actually a pretty nice improvement because it's much easier to understand what's happening and where you are in the recovery process. Apple also tweaked the shutdown screen. It's a small change, but visually it feels cleaner and more modern. The whole interface looks less cluttered, and the information hierarchy is easier to follow. There are also some subtle icon updates throughout the system. The Maps icon has been refreshed, and the camera icon now uses a different lighting direction. Even the Edit Home Screen button has changed. Instead of the old icon, it now shows a paintbrush, which honestly makes a lot more sense. Now let's talk about older iPhones, because that's probably the biggest concern for many people. If you're using something like an iPhone 11, you're probably wondering whether iOS 27 is going to slow everything down. Surprisingly, that doesn't seem to be the case. Based on early user feedback, many iPhone 11 owners are actually reporting smoother performance and faster responsiveness compared to iOS 26. Even some iPhone SE users say the update performs better than they expected. So credit where it's due. Apple seems to have done some real optimization work here. At least so far, iOS 27 doesn't look like one of those updates that immediately makes older devices feel obsolete. But that doesn't mean everything is perfect. Battery life is definitely one area where some users are seeing a downgrade. I've also noticed the phone running warmer than usual at times. That's not completely unexpected since we're still dealing with beta software, and Apple is likely running additional background diagnostics and optimizations. More importantly, there have been reports of some serious bugs. For example, a few iPhone 15 users reported that their devices became stuck after updating and couldn't boot into iOS properly. In some cases, the only solution was entering DFU mode and downgrading back to iOS 26. So here's my recommendation. If this is your primary iPhone and you depend on it every day, I'd probably wait. The safer move is to stay on iOS 26 and upgrade once the official release arrives later this year. Now, if you've already installed iOS 27 beta and want to downgrade, here's the tool I'd recommend: iBoot. iBoot is a professional iOS repair tool trusted by millions of users worldwide. It can fix more than 150 different iOS system issues, and it also includes one-click backup and restore features to help keep your data safe. I've left the download link in the description below. Using it is pretty straightforward. First, connect your iPhone to your computer and launch iBoot. Before downgrading, back up your data. Click Data Backup, or Restore, select Backup, and then choose Start Backup. If prompted, create a backup password you'll remember. iBoot will then begin saving your data locally. This typically includes photos, videos, contacts, messages, device information, and some app data. Depending on how much data you have, the backup process may take a while. Once it's finished, head back to the main screen. Select iOS Upgrade or Downgrade, then choose Downgrade. The software will automatically detect which iOS versions Apple is currently signing. Choose iOS 26.5 and click Download. After the firmware download is complete, simply click Start Downgrade. Just follow the prompts and let the software do the work. When the downgrade is finished, your iPhone will be back on iOS 26.5. Finally, restore your data. Go back to Data Backup. Select the backup you created earlier and click Restore to Device. A few minutes later, all your data will be back on your phone. So to wrap things up, iOS 27 beta is actually more stable and smoother than I expected. Performance on older iPhones looks promising, and some of the design changes are genuinely useful. But at the end of the day, it's still beta software. Battery drain, overheating, and unexpected bugs are all possibilities. If you enjoy testing new features, go ahead and try it on a secondary device. But if this is the iPhone you rely on every day, I'd recommend sticking with iOS 26 for now and waiting for the official release. So what about you? Are you installing iOS 27 beta right away, or waiting for the public release? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.